Hello, this is round 8 JG. Hmm. So first, before I am a mess right now, my little stomach hurts a little bit, so if I'm a little bit off, that is why. But we gotta do this. The game goes on. The game does not stop for stomach aches and all that fun stuff. So here we are, mess and all. So I literally I feel like I say this every time, but a fuck ton of shit went down and a fuck ton of fuckness happened. That's it. That is a fuck ton of fuckness happened. I love it. Um, so going into that previous vote where I was not a part of, I really was getting the vibe that Emily was gonna go. Things were looking pretty good. I really wasn't getting told too much, and I really wasn't trying to put my business into it too much because I wasn't voting. So like at the end of the day, I'm safe. Like doesn't really matter to me. Obviously, I don't want to lose an ally in like Rocky or Shawnee. And I definitely actually considered sliding a shield towards Shawnee, but like they weren't really talking to me about the vote. So like I really didn't know and I didn't want to like waste it and like it not matter. So I ended up not doing that at all because I think that would have been a rash decision. Um and I think what ended up happening ended up probably being really good for my game, actually. Um, the vote is revealed. It's 4-2. Shawnee has been blindsided. Out he goes. And then all shit breaks loose. Like, oh my goodness, this game has these moments where it's like it's nice and quiet, it's nice and tranquil water, it's peaceful, life is wonderful, and then all of a sudden it's like a fucking hurricane comes, and then like the water's everywhere and it's rushing everywhere, and it's like oh my gosh, like oh my goodness. So Eddie like wants to like blast Austin's game and by association, I guess my game a little bit, but it was definitely more at Austin. And it was like, Austin can't sit the fuck down and just eat his cereal. He can't do this. He can't do that. And I'm just like, Eddie, you're kind of looking like you're just fishing for attention, but go off. And so I just sat there. And so then basically Eddie, it's like basically Eddie and Jess versus Austin. And it's just like, and Austin's like, I get Austin like does not want to sit down and like he wants to defend himself. In my opinion, and I love you, baby, when you see this, if you see this, but you were just digging and digging and digging. And I was just like, well, if we're not going to get to the end together, at least it's going to be maybe me going to the end because he's just not putting that shuffle down because damn, he just kept going. And I'm just like, and so then Rocky gets in and it's like, Austin, I don't know why you're playing like this card. I don't know why you're playing like this. Like, we know you voted Austin, or we know you voted Shawnee. And so there's like this fight going on between these people, and I'm just like, okay, wait a second. Like being the removed person who's not really the emotional person because of like I'm not really in the vote. I was my mind was more clear. I feel like, and so I thought about it, and I was like, wait a second. I trust Austin. I trust Austin. I trust Austin like with everything. He told me he did not vote Shawnee, so he did not vote Shawnee. He voted M. Okay. Rocky is saying he did not vote Shawnee and he voted M. Okay. And he's like all adamant making like the posts on the Facebook on the comments and everything, like adamant that he did that and like calling people out. And it hit me. Bitches, why are we being fucking stupid? We know Jess has the power to steal a vote and cast it herself. If you, Austin, are fucking like adamant you voted this way, you voted M, and Rocky, you're fucking adamant that you voted this way. And we fucking know that Jess has this power that she can steal someone's vote and cast it however she chooses. Why don't we add it up? Isn't it so fucking obvious? Like, it blew my mind. And so my thought process was like, she stole their vote. She stole one of the votes and basically eliminated Shawnee because of it. Like, this, it was so kind of plain. And because of the fact that she was being kind of quiet about it and everything, not really talking about the vote, but she was more just attacking Austin. It was just like, and letting Rocky attack him too. So I was just like, hmm, I was like, I should probably drop this in the main chat. But like that's risky. Like I'm trying not to involve myself. And I basically like say that, like, hey guys, like throwing out a little conspiracy theory just to throw this out there. And because like I want some peace, because like I do want peace. I hate when people fight, especially like stuff like that. Like it's like you don't need to fight. Um I mean it's good for my game because y'all are like fighting with each other, not me. So but I was like, hey, like we know most of the people's powers in this game. And if you're saying you're very adamant you did it this way, and you're saying you did the same thing, maybe just maybe, someone used her power to steal someone's vote and cast it the way that she wanted. And Rocky was like, oh, not Rocky, I think Justin's like, oh, there you go again, defending your boyfriend, JG. Actually, no, I really don't need to do that because my boyfriend's actually kind of digging his own grave right now. I love him and all, but like, I did it so that I could potentially create some peace and kind of like maybe make a move. And boy, did I make a move because everyone went to bed, emotional and hot headed, but people woke up. And not only did they wake up physically, they woke up in the game. They were woke because I got a message from Rocky being like, JG, I'm so sorry. I apologize to Austin. I'm apologizing to you. Like, I was lied. I was duped. Basically, like, yeah, just used her power against me. And these people, they're snakes. He calls them the four snakes. He wants these people out one by one by one. He wants Emily out. He wants Jess out. He wants Eddie out, and he wants Devin out, which I'm going to use that to my advantage. Keep Devin in the game late enough so that way I could have Devin be with me to turn against Rocky. That way Rocky can't turn against me and Austin. And literally, like, I was just like so fucking shook because before I got that message from Rocky, he won the Emperor Challenge and he split the Ludices up and he put Austin, myself, and Jess. And I was so confused because I was like, he just attacked us last night and what? And then that's when it always revealed he wants Jess out. And I was like, oh, this makes so much fucking sense. And that Ben was like telling me about like, yeah, this is happening. And even Devin. And I was even talking to Adam, like, there's this group now that is against those four. Like, Devin's in an interesting spot. I don't know how I feel about all that. Because I feel like Devin was originally with Jess, but I think he's trying to jump ship. I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting. And it's crazy to think that Austin and our game was in so much danger again, especially because people were talking about like the fact that we're not a boy, that we are still dating. It was very huge that I was able to figure that out. I basically sunk Jess's game. Pretty much that side. As long as these people are like 100% like wanting to take these shots, like they're saying they are, that was a fucking power move. And it's one of those moves that isn't flashy, but like you look at it, like if I'm to get to the end, I could say one of my biggest fucking moves in this game was to literally figure out what the fuck happened with that Shawnee vote. And even if this isn't what happened, I still was able to get the target off of Austin and I and onto Jess, onto Emily, onto Eddie. Like their games are actually like way more in danger than mine are right now. So I'm extremely very shook by that. I'm very proud of myself to actually make such a move like that. And it's a subtle move. It's not a move that was like flashy or anything, but it put that little seed of doubt. And that little seed of doubt planted enough where now it turned Rocky 100% against those people. And now he's working with me. He might want to turn against me eventually, but he's now kind of in a place where he's very vulnerable because he doesn't trust those people. And he was gunning for me, but now he's forced to work with me. So now he's at my mercy. And so I think that's a very good spot. Going into now the challenge, we kind of were thinking about, do we want to throw it? Do we not? Knowing that it could be a joint. We kind of were just like, we're just going to play and see what happens. It doesn't really matter. It kind of worked out because Jess wasn't available. So like our score was really low. So kind of looks like we kind of threw it. So it looks good. And so it ends up being the fact that Eddie, Devin, and someone else is safe. I forget the third person. Along with
Patrick.
thank you. Oh, that's so. I hate saying that. I obviously I forgot Patrick. Patrick, when you're watching this, you're probably a really cool and great dude. You're just really fucking quiet. I really do always forget you're in this game. Which is probably a really good strategy because you're probably gonna go really far because of that. But yeah, we're targeting Jess. Jess is gonna be the vote. I want Jess gone. I think a lot of people want Jess gone, as long as no fuckery happens. Apparently I'm their target. I have two shields. I don't want to play one. If I have to play one, I will. I'm not gonna go home with two shields. I'm not gonna be that Ascendance season 2 All-Star player that goes home with two I don't two shields in his pocket. Like, no thank you. Like, I have played such a damn fucking good game and such a damn fucking aggressive game that no, I'm not gonna go home with two shields. Period. I gotta be careful though because if I play a shield and I didn't need to, it could show that I don't trust the people I'm voting with. So I have to make sure that if if I feel comfortable enough to not play it, then I'm not gonna play it. If I feel like there's some really shady business going, then it's gonna get played. So Austin doesn't really want me to play it. He wants me to hold on to it, but at the end of the day, I don't want to go home with two shields. Like, I'm not gonna be that player. Um, I know that they have 100%, obviously, probably Jess, Emily, and Eddie voting me. So that's 3 votes out of 10. That's nowhere near enough. I just gotta hope that they don't have a shield, and that's what scares me. If something happens where Jess plays a power or something, or Jess plays a shield or something, I'm playing the shield on myself. So I just gotta be careful because they're saying my name, but what if they're secretly voting Austin? Granted, their public target was Austin, so like maybe they're trying to be secret about me. So I don't know. It's something to consider about. This next day is gonna be very interesting. I do work 2 to 10 at work, so I'm hoping that it's a slow day at work so that I can talk to people a little bit, messaging and everything. But yeah, we're getting really close to now. If things are gonna change, it's probably gonna be at 9 when if there's a jury when jury starts. So I feel like I'm in a really good fucking. I'm not a good fucking spot. I feel like I've played a really good fucking game so far, and I feel like I still have a lot left to play, and I feel like I'm going to keep playing this game for many more rounds. So I think that's about most of the shit that's gone down.
I don't think we've actually talked about the combination of your powers together and if you've talked about a strategy in using them, or is it just kind of trying to keep them as long as possible? You've been passing them back and forth, so I think
Yeah.
you're kind of using them with Austin
Mhm.
jointly. Um, but have you talked about an overall strategy with the number and um, with the content specifically, meaning they all do such different things?
Yes. So, speaking of, so we have the vote block. The vote block we want to use at the right time. We're thinking about using we had thought about using the vote block at final 5 potentially if we were able to hold on to it because that will then we have 2 votes, block another vote. That way if somebody tries to pull shenanigans, it would be a 2-2 vote. Um, Using shields at the final 6 together, each have our own shield. Um, Granted, if he's on the game, then I'll just use my shield at probably 6 and 5, if I can. I'm gonna try to use them as late as possible, just to guarantee that safety. Um, but there's also the thing. There's the strategy where I forget what season, but Parvati found an idol at Final 5, on some island or something. I don't know. I haven't watched all the seasons. I'm not a Survivor expert. I'm a Big Brother bitch. But she found an idol and she didn't like take it or she didn't like use it at all when she could have, because if she would have, then it would have put her in a vulnerable spot to expose her game. So like, if my name's not getting written down, I'm not playing a fucking shield. Why would I? Like, that would expose me. It would make me look like I don't trust people. Like, so like if I don't need to play the shields, I'm not gonna play the shield. I'm only gonna play the shields if I need to. Like, I think sometimes people play the shields for shit and giggle like, oh, I have this. This is the last time I can use this, so I'm gonna use this. Like, that's not always the best strategy. You need to look at the scenario and the people you're around and your jury management because by playing that idol, you could, yeah, you're getting yourself to another day in the game and you're getting yourself potentially to the end of the game, but at what cost? Are you costing yourself a jury vote? And one jury vote could potentially make the difference to winning the game or not. We have the challenge reveal. I told him that the challenge reveal would be a perfect opportunity to play during a live night. I had dropped the hint that during this October 3rd, my birthday. Woo-hoo-hoo. If I'm still in the game, I can't wait to spend it with you guys. What a mess in mood. It's actually almost become a tradition because there is 2 years ago an org started on my birthday on October 3rd. So, yes, the challenge reveal rule thing. I said I'd do that on a live night. That way we can kind of know what the challenge is, and we can kind of like have a heads, kind of like have a way to practice. With this being just pen and paper, though, it kind of makes me kind of like, do I kind of want to reveal this challenge because it's not gonna really be something physically demanding that we would need to like practice. So,
So I'm going to clarify a rule on that one. You don't have to wait till any specific time. So if you decide tomorrow you want to know what the challenge on October 3rd is, you can ask tomorrow. You can ask now whenever you want.
oh,
It's not like you have, like if you want to know right now what the Final Five challenge will be, you can know right now what the Final Five challenge will be. That you can't ask, I believe we put Final Five in there. You can't ask about anything after that, but you can ask whenever you want. The last
oh,
person didn't understand that last season, so I want to make sure that's clear.
I'm a little shook right now. Oh, oh, okay.
Yeah, it sounds like you thought that you had to ask like
For
when
that
we
round.
told you or something. Yeah, no. You can ask now about anything. Now, again, you have to make it to the Final Five challenge for that to be valuable information for you, so that's why
Yeah.
we allowed that. Because you may say, I want to know what the Final Five challenge is, and then really wish you asked what the October 3rd challenge was, because that you may go. So, yeah,
Yep.
there's strategy and pros and cons to all of it.
Oh yeah. Interesting. Okay. That doesn't really change too much because like I think definitely it's more like I feel like that power is used more in the moment. Like, oh, I need to know what like this is today or tonight. Like I would not like yeah, knowing what the final five is gonna be nice, but if you get eliminated at sixth, seventh, or eighth, like it's not gonna do
Mm.
you any good.
Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted you with your strategy, but I do have a question as you talk about that. You say you're not going to play the idol, and you've talked a little bit about this. Is Austin on the same page, or since you have both the idols, he's kind of letting you make that call, or how's that going?
Um So they're both in my possession. So at the end of the day, I gotta have the final say. What happens to them, where they go, what they do. So that's kind of like I'm kind of taking ownership of that. Austin kind of threw around the idea of them like keeping them until like final six. So we could then play them at final six. Like we each have our own. We play them at final six. We're both safe. And then go into final five using the vote block. Again, like as I make this confessional and like thinking like if I don't have to play a shield, I'm not gonna play a shield. Because like look back into how Property won her game, like she didn't need to play that idol at Final Five. So if I don't need to play it, I'm not gonna play it. Like if I don't think Austin needs to play it, then I'm not gonna transfer it to him and he's not gonna have a chance to play it, period. That's how it works.
Okay, we're moving into single digits after this round. Is your strategy changing at all as the numbers dwindle?
Uh is my strategy what has been my strategy? That's the real question, Nicole, because damn, I feel like my strategy just keeps changing on a day-to-day basis, and my gameplay and my alliances and my relationships, they just change daily. Um, No, here's what I'm gonna say. I think my strategy is not changing because my strategy has been to. I think I even said this in my pre-game interview. Um, is to be fluid. It's to be always constantly adapting to what is happening. The moment that you are 100% like very rigid and you're like, I got to do this and only this is the moment when you are at your weakest and when you are going to most likely be out of this game. I've been very, very vulnerable, very fluid with how I play this game. I've been in alliances. I've been breaking alliances. I've been in deals with people. I've been working with people that have been quote unquote my enemy. I've been quote unquote working with people that I care about. I've been working against people I love. So like I think this game is 100% like keep going into this with a very fluid mindset, knowing that at any point I'm gonna have to do whatever I'm gonna have to do. I'm going to have to work with whoever I need to work with, whether it be someone I love, someone I hate, someone I want to get out. Like if it could come down the road, if for some fucking reason I need to work with Emily Sarah Lemieux, I'm gonna work with fucking Emily Sarah Lemieux. If it's gonna push me further in this game, I'm gonna do it. And I think that's what my strategy is to be constantly fluid and constantly be very bendable. I want to be like that bendy ruler that can mold into what I need to be molded into instead of like a ruler that's like wood where I bend it and it breaks and I'm out of this fucking game. I I need to be able to keep my relationships open and strong. I have some really good strong bonds. I just need to make sure that some of these people who are actively against me do go because I know there are cracks in these people that I'm working with that I can use that will pit them against each other and not at me. If I can get to the end with like people like Devin and Rocky and Austin and people like that, like Rocky and Devin are in a way against each other. Devin's with me though. Rocky's with me though at the moment. So like things like this are key moments that could set me up so that when it gets down to the end, my allies are turning against each other and not against me.
Okay, I know you're gonna hate me, but
Oh
who do you
gosh.
trust the most, and who do you think is set up best to win this game?
Okay. Um, I think actually, so I changed my. I actually had. I thought about that. I knew you were gonna ask me this, and I had thought about an answer about who set up the best, and I had an answer, and I'm trying to think about who I had. I think I said Devin. I think I said Devin because so it's definitely not Eddie right now. Eddie's ship is sinking. Emily's ship is sinking. Jess's ship is sinking. I think Devin because Devin's in a spot where he was. I really strongly believe he's with that group. He was in that group, and he's doing great. But now he's trying to jump ship, and he has allies like people like me and Austin, and even people I believe he probably has some relationship with Ben or even Adam. And so I think Devin's in a really like he obviously is not in. I would say the best spot in the game in regards to safety, but I feel like he's in the best spot to go the furthest out of anyone in the game, if that makes sense. I know that's kind of contradictory. Um, like I could see him definitely getting fucked over, but because of the relationships he does have right now, he is set up to go very, very far. But he's also the type of person where like a vote could flip at the last hour, and in the last hour he gets fucked. Which would suck because I don't want that to happen. Devin is someone I would love to see in the end with me and Austin, or even Anna, but definitely Devin. The person I trust the most, ooh, hmm, not Austin, obviously. Um, Probably Ben, probably because Ben's a person who's very logical, very smart-minded, like me, and he kind of like calmed me down a little bit, especially about the whole like Rocky thing and everything. Um, and I feel very comfortable with him, very trustworthy with him. I feel like we have like this really good relationship that like I don't think he's gonna turn on me, and I don't plan on turning on him. Um, I just got to make sure that Austin doesn't want to turn on him. But yeah, I think Ben's up there. Ben or Devin, but definitely I think Ben has a little bit of an edge because I think Devin, as long as Jess and Em are still in this game, um, it's kind of a little bit scary.
Okay, I'm going to ask one more question. Let's pretend Austin went home last round. I know it couldn't happen because he wasn't at the vote, but pretend he did. What is your ideal circumstances moving into the final four, final three, like moving toward the end? What would be ideal for you?
Oh, 100% having people like Devin, Ben, maybe even Adam. Just these people that I know that I could potentially possibly beat in this end. Um, honestly, like Austin getting eliminated would be heartbreaking because like we obviously want us to get to the end just so we could be like we did that and like that'd be such a huge accomplishment and feat and like it would piss a lot of people off. It would probably be our best shot for either one of us to win, to be honest, because obviously there's a lot of people that aren't fans of us right now. But yeah, I think definitely like people like Devin, Ben, Adam, like Patrick scares me because Patrick has the story of, oh, I was in this duo, strong duo, and I outlasted and stayed this long. Granted, like Patrick, you're probably really cool and chill, but like, bitch, where you be at? Like, I feel like you also disappeared. So like, it's not hard to hide in the shadows when you're literally a shadow. So yeah. So I think some combination of like Ben moving like down the road with Ben, Devin, and Adam. Especially like Adam was a person who like I was just like, who's Adam? And now like we've been talking a lot and like we have very common like targets and such. Like Adam, I feel like is definitely someone who is gonna be way in the long end of my game if I'm able to make it that far. Adam's be I think very pivotal for that.
Okay, I lied. I do have one more question. Um, trying to think how I will phrase this. Okay, so you've been playing orgs for I think you said a decade. How has your strategy changed, or how different is it playing this format than playing your traditional Survivor, Big Brother, or any of the other orgs you've played over the decade? How is this game experiencing it?
Oh, this game experience. This has been probably one of the most stressful, one of the most fun, challenging games I've ever played in the 10 years that I played Orcs, and I played a lot. Um, I play less more now because I'm old. I'm quote unquote old, as some people call me. And I can't just do more than one game at once. I plus like I put all of energy into the game that I'm playing in, so that's why I can only do one. Um, when I started playing Orcs, and even as I even like a couple years ago, I was a very I relied strictly on social game and solely on like those and trying to strategize my way to the end. I've also come to now realize that a lot of times you need to like actually win competitions to kind of like add a little bit of like context to your game and add a little bit of meat to your game. And on top of that, sometimes winning challenges can actually win you powers and advantages, which could also add context and add flavor and add um, context, even more context to your game. And so I used to be a very timid, very sometimes purposely or unpurposely shy player who tried to be very much in the shadows, very forgettable. And sometimes I would become too forgettable where I would be voted out early. This season, I think because of the fact that I knew personally a lot of the cast or knew of a lot of the cast, I was forced to not be able to be so timid or shy or to be that person. I was, especially having such a dynamic relationship with someone such as Austin in this game, I was forced that no matter what, I had to make that decision on day one, whether I was going to go to the end with Austin or eventually turn on Austin. And I made that decision on day one that I was not going to turn on Austin. And I had to then, with every decision and every action that I made in this game, I had to then make it knowing that I'm not going to vote Austin unless I'm voting Austin to win at the end. Which makes my game a lot harder because um, a lot of times whenever you're in like that unbreakable bond and that final two type situation with someone and they fuck up, you want to be like, I want to cut them. I want to like I want to just cut them loose, let them go. But with someone like Austin, like when you have that relationship, you have to be like, okay, this person fucked up. We're still in this together. We have to somehow get ourselves out of this hole. And so because of the fact that I came into this knowing that I wasn't going to cut Austin, it's forced me to become, I think, very creative as a player. It's forced me to think more, and to really play the game harder and play the game more. I gunned for that second Emperor challenge because of the fact that I was going to keep myself and Austin safe. Like, if I wasn't going to like want to go to the end with Austin, I probably would not have gunned for that second Emperor challenge as hard as I did. I probably wouldn't have done the whole switching the powers around, making sure the powers stay in the game, making sure the powers stay with us, and making sure information. The fact that we lied about breaking up, the fact we went to that extent to try to take a target off of us, which I personally feel that for that round, for Austin, it saved his skin in this game. Um, got, I just got a call from him. He's gonna think I'm ignoring him. Mood. But I personally feel that this game, more than any game I've played in the past, I feel like I've come out of my shell. I feel like no matter what happens for the rest of the season, I feel like I can say that I can look back at the season. And I know this might be very cocky and ignorant and arrogant of me to say this, but I feel like I have really set the tone for the season. I feel like I'm one of the very high contenders for the season. I'm one of the bigger fighters for the season. And I feel like when people look at us as two, they're gonna like talk about people like Jess. They're gonna talk about people like the brothers, and they're also gonna bring up my name. I feel like because I have played so aggressively, while also trying to lay low in other points and try to be so flexible and fluid with my game, it's really has forced me to become a new player and almost take a step back and realize not playing the same way all the time is not always the best. And so, yeah, Ascendance has kicked my ass, but we're at Final 10. And hopefully I can say in roughly 2 weeks that I kicked Ascendance ass. And I feel that if I can get to the end, I feel like I have a really strong fucking case. A huge portfolio of moves, loud, quiet, subtle, to make my case to win this game. I feel it's not going to be easy, but the first half of this game has not been easy. And so I feel that if I can get through the first half of this game, I can get through the second half of this game, and I can get to the end and make my case to win and really show that every decision that I made in this game was nothing personal, but was strictly game. And I did everything I could to get to the end so that I could win, whether it be something as crazy as turning on a friend group alliance and voting someone out, to fake breaking up with my boyfriend, to playing a shield potentially to save myself or throwing challenges. So yeah, Ascendance is not a joke. I'll tell you that.
Well, I appreciate you sticking with us, and I'm glad you're having fun, even though you're stressed out.
It's good. It's healthy. It's I would say healthy. Like, it's not healthy. It's good.
All right. Any final thoughts? Because we've set a new record since we haven't talked in a couple of rounds.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Because you weren't for the last one.
Yep.
No, I think that's it. I think I'm looking at this. I'm ready. Like, it's basically in the second half of the game. It's time. It's time.
All right.